However, the emperor seemed satisfied with his positive answer and nodded, smiling broadly. Good. I will see you soon with your fiancée. To celebrate the crown prince's wedding, I have prepared entertainment. We will be holding a hunting festival soon, so please demonstrate your abilities for the emperor. You may leave. Yes. Gerard answered briefly and departed. Gerard's gray eyes darkened as he sank into deep thought. With a complicated expression, he leaned his back against a pillar in the hallway and waited for a while. The old attendant emerged from the emperor's office and was seen walking briskly somewhere. Gerard followed him discreetly. When the attendant entered the quiet garden, Gerard appeared. Let's talk for a moment. The attendant's steps suddenly stopped. He lowered his head slightly without hiding his annoyance. Since when? I won't tell you. The wrinkled eyes of the attendant who raised his face were filled with loyalty toward the emperor. Who else knows about this? Nobody knows yet. The attendant knows, I know, but no one else knows? Gerard looked at the attendant with serious eyes. I believe your excellency will pretend not to notice what happened today. What does the royal physician say? No one knows. Attendant. Do you truly believe this is the way to serve His Majesty? Gerard left coldly without waiting for the attendant's answer. The face of the attendant, left alone, was filled with deep sadness. In a reception room in the Crown Prince's palace. While waiting for the Crown Prince, Gerard looked around the room. The dissatisfaction was clear in his eyes. The Emperor's palace was extremely lavish with expensive luxuries, but this place was simple, without any frills. This alone demonstrated the frugal nature of the Crown Prince, but it also revealed the Emperor's narrow regard for him. What nobleman wouldn't want to curry favor with the next emperor? If the Crown Prince was recognized by the Emperor, this place should be overflowing with expensive gifts. At that moment, Alkivit, who hurried into the living room, smiled warmly. Welcome, Duke. I greet His Highness the Crown Prince. Gerard greeted him calmly and formally. I am very glad to see the Duke at my palace. Please, be seated. When Alkivit offered him a seat, the Duke sat across from him. A servant immediately appeared, prepared refreshments, and then quietly disappeared. I'm so glad your eyes have recovered. Alkivit carefully studied the Duke's gray eyes. He had heard about the Duke's condition from Dia, but was relieved to see him in good health in person. Yes. I recently met Miss Audria's younger siblings. They were truly delightful. Yes. Alkivit laughed softly as he watched the Duke give curt answers with a stern expression. The tea tastes good. Please, drink. Alkivit took his cup of tea first and took a sip. This was the first time the Duke had visited his palace. Perhaps he hadn't come merely to exchange pleasantries. Because of his complex and tense state of mind, he couldn't taste the tea at all. I think that's enough pleasantries. You have business to discuss, don't you? Alkivit set down the teacup and looked directly at the Duke. It was better to address it directly than to remain unsettled by the tension. Do you love Dia? Is this what you came for? Alkivit barely managed to speak, unable to hide his confusion. His tense expression immediately relaxed at the Duke's question. It was an unexpected question. Yes. The Duke nodded slightly with an indifferent expression. It was unexpected, but not a question he couldn't answer. Of course I love Lady Audria. Alkivit spoke honestly. The Duke shot him a penetrating look as if trying to discern his true intentions, but Alkivit did not avoid his gaze and met it confidently. The Imperial Palace is a difficult place. Indeed. The Duke, who had been silent for some time, asked again. Your Highness, can you protect Dia? Alkivit realized this was the question the Duke truly wanted to ask. I will do my best. Just doing your best is not enough. Sometimes you have to risk everything to protect someone. Advice from Vines, who protected better than anyone, struck his heart with a loud echo. Alkivit lowered his gaze. I know what I lack. Do you truly? This is disappointing. So much so that I want to make Dia's marriage something that never happened. The Duke's cold words became like an ice pick and pierced his heart. Even though he was powerless, he wanted to protect Diameter. Would abandoning her truly protect her? Are you saying that giving her up is protecting her? Alkivit looked up again and met the Duke's eyes with difficulty. When he saw the Duke's cold expression, his breath caught in his throat. Can you give her up? Alkivit said nothing. He opened his lips, then closed them. The Duke's gray eyes constantly urged him to answer. He felt as though his heart would burn under this unspoken pressure. Endless despair was dragging him to the depths. Alkivit closed his eyes tightly and struggled to open his mouth. Duke. I'm sorry, but I cannot. I cannot abandon her. So please, tell me something else. I will do anything to protect her. It was his first time. He had never wanted something with all his heart like this. He had already tasted that sweetness, how could he let it go? Even if they called him selfish, he couldn't let her go. No, he didn't want to leave her. Your Highness. At the Duke's call, Alkivit felt helpless and slowly raised his eyelids. The Duke's indifferent expression met his eyes. Tell me. I'll listen to anything except giving her up. Alkivit whispered earnestly. Your Highness is not alone. The Duke's words struck his heart like lightning. For a moment, Alkivit thought he had heard wrong. All this time, he had always felt alone. His father, who had ignored him since birth. His mother, who was too weak to care for herself properly. His maternal grandfather, who never crossed a certain line out of wariness toward the imperial family. But I believe your word that you will do anything to protect Diameter. I will lend a hand when she needs help. The Duke's unexpected proposal took his breath away in a different way. Yes. Alkivit's golden eyes, the symbol of the royal family, shook continuously. The time will soon come when your Highness must choose. I will protect you. I came to see you because I wanted to tell you this. I will take my leave. When the Duke stood, Alkivit quickly followed. Many questions came to his mind before settling. Wouldn't one word be enough for Vines? Thank you, Duke. The Duke bowed his head and left without another word. The golden main gate of the imperial palace opened, and a black four-wheeled carriage bearing the large crest of the Vines family departed. Olive sensed the unusual mood of the Duke sitting across from him and fell silent. Olive quickly shook his head gently. When was the last time the Duke had an encounter with the Emperor and enjoyed it? Olive. Only after the carriage moved far enough away from the imperial palace did the Duke's lips open. Yes. What about Camellia? She has entered the palace safely. Olive answered promptly. After completing her long vacation, Camellia had abandoned the name Joan, which she used when caring for the grandson of the Duchess of the East, and entered the palace under a new identity.